completely unprepared. I knew roughly what I'd have to say, and I knew roughly what the question would be. But in terms of how you frame it, how you go about answering a question that seems impossible, how you would deal with the curveballs, no idea. It didn't help that everything came so quickly, so I had to prepare very quickly. I think the first interview I had was 2 weeks preparation notice, and then the substantive interviews came very shortly afterwards, and they came in quick succession. So it was sort of, you need to prepare immediately, and you need to be clear in your mind what you're going to say when curveballs come, which they did. The biggest challenge was the first video. It was just doing it. And I've got it saved on my computer, and now I watch it, I go, oh dear, this is terrible. But yeah, I think just you've got to dive in, haven't you? You've got to dive in. And this is what this course does really well. It encourages you to dive in a safe space as well, with the right people to give answers and feedback and all that sort of stuff. But if you don't do it, you never learn. And if you don't dive in, you never grow. And the thing is, you've got to take a risk sometimes. And this is actually a calculated risk. It's a small investment in money, a small investment in time, but actually the reward at the end is very good. You're prepared for curveball questions. You're prepared for that panel who want, for them, they want to get the right person for their job. And they're going to ask you questions sometimes that are difficult because they want to test you. So, this is the best way, in my view, to prepare. I think the Academy prepared me well enough to not be crazily stressed. I think having the frameworks, having, the golden examples, the USPs, all those types of things that the Academy makes you do, you just got to remember those, and then you weave those in where possible to the question you're being asked. And of course, the app itself helped a lot. So the night before the interview, I go on the app and I just listen to myself answering a few of the questions, listen to my own recordings of the presentations to remind myself of what I was going to say in what order. And that was really helpful. And I think the key thing really when you're going through this process is it is really difficult not to panic slightly sometimes, because you're like, this is a big deal. This is an interview for a job that may potentially last the rest of your career. But I think being prepared, having those answers ready, having those thought processes that have been solidified in the Academy does help you to calm down. I thought it was going well. And then one of the final questions was, what is the worst clinical mistake you've ever made? So I gave them the worst example, which you would advise me not to do, but I then used the framework you showed me to talk about what I'd learned and, the resilience that was needed in that moment. I almost quit my job and training after this problem that happened. And that response actually was part of the reason that they offered me the job. They told me that. Don't think twice, just press the button and subscribe. Because honestly, it's about getting as prepared as you can in the time frame you have. And lots of us are just in ridiculously busy clinical rotas. We haven't got the time to commit for days on end in blocks of time. The Academy process allows you to dip in and out 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. There's the app that allows you to see what other people are doing and learn from other people. You have a bit of a community going on, don't you, ultimately, with the Academy? You've got people who you can bounce off. And the more you engage in the process, the more you actually get actively involved, and you do those videos and you do what you need to do to progress in the various milestones that have been set out, the more confident you'll feel. So honestly, it's worth it, 100%. Do it, subscribe, and go and talk to Tessa and Becky et al. At the other end of the camera and just give it your best shot, and they'll give you some good feedback and they'll tell you how to get better.